everyone! Today I'll be telling you about the life of Mr. Burris Frederick B.F. Skinner. This is the man we mainly know as the guy who developed operant conditioning. If you don't know what that is, please keep watching and we will get to that. But for now, let's start here. Skinner was born in 1904 to a middle-class family in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. As a child, he was fascinated with literature, so when the time came for him to go to college, he enrolled at Hamilton College in New York to major in English. He hated it. Not just the classes, but his professors as well. The professor he disliked the most hated Charles Chaplin, so Skinner and a friend put up posters around town saying that Chaplin was coming to their campus. They even called the news with the story, and by noon, the day of, crowds were so big, roadblocks had to be put up for control. Skinner continued his senior year tormenting the staff through his position on the student paper, and his shenanigans got so bad, the president threatened to take away his degree if he didn't stop. But Skinner graduated with a bachelor's in English and dreams of becoming a writer. He traveled to many places to find inspiration and even had some work reviewed by Robert Frost. He could never really get the hang of his own writing, though. So while he was struggling in Greenwich Village, he read up on some work done by Pavlov and Watson. He was so intrigued that he thought, if I can't inform the world about behavior through writing, maybe I can do it through science. He enrolled at Harvard and took his very first psychology class, and in 3 years he had his PhD. Skinner remained at Harvard for 5 more years as postdoctoral. When he did leave, he went on to teach at the University of Minnesota for 8 years. While he was there, he published The Behavior of Organisms, which got him recognized as an experimental psychologist. Then he moved on to Indiana University in 1945 to become the chairman of their psychology department, and that also lasted for 3 years. Fun fact, while he was there, he invented the air crib, which was a climate-controlled environment for infants that he first designed for his daughter. After his 3 years at Indiana University, he completed his circle by going back to Harvard. He remained there for the rest of his career. Skinner had very strict views on positivism, and he believed that science should rid itself of anything that cannot be physically observed, that there would be no need to study mental events, even if you believed they existed. He did believe that the environment could cause conscious events and lead to behavior. For example, when he was a child, his father didn't use physical punishment. Instead, he took him to the county jail and ended up scaring him into good behavior and of cops for the rest of his life. This theory was termed functional analysis, and his approach came to be known as descriptive behaviorism. In Skinner's professional life, when he wasn't hating on cognitive psychology, he was busy stemming his own spin-off of Pavlov's reflexive research. He renamed it respondent behavior because he believed it was more of a response to stimuli than a reflex. Since he modeled his work after Thorndike, Skinner used his instrumental conditioning to derive operant behavior. He referred to it as operant behavior because it was behavior that operates on the environment in a way that produces consequences. He believed that all behavior could be explained by external events, and he thought that operant response would lead to responses. Therefore, in certain circumstances and environments, behavior could be predicted. Environments selected behavior. Change the reinforcement contingencies and you change the behavior. He also believed that even though reinforcement strengthened behaviors, punishments didn't always weaken them. So instead of spanking your child, Skinner would suggest negative reinforcement. This basically means to reinforce behavior by removing the unpleasant environmental circumstance instead of receiving a reward as they would in positive reinforcement. Skinner's principles are applied to life in many practical problems. For example, Aaron has to take out the trash so his apartment will stop smelling bad. They have also been applied to help people with psychosis, all the way to people who are shy or have phobias. This is what Skinner called behavior therapy. In 1990, he died of leukemia 8 days after receiving the Lifetime Contribution to Psychology Award by the APA. He really made quite the impact on the world of psychology. This has been a Life Sketch of B.F. Skinner. Thanks for watching.